Howdy,
Oh,
boys
there,
and girls.
well, there you are,
Oh,
finally.
I did. I was having technical problems, and only Gary could see my face actually turning
He was
red
he
instead
was
of orange.
flailing his arms, by the way.
I was just like, "What was going on here?" So, but
See, I show
we're
up and
good.
things go to pot.
What's that?
I show up and things go to pot.
Yeah, that's what happens. So,
Mhm.
welcome everybody. Season 7, episode 5 here of Isles Talk. Uh, my name is Paul Kreischer. I'm one of your hosts this evening. Joining me, finally, been a while, buddy. Gary Harding, how
It
are
has
you?
been a while. Thank you for reminding everybody of that, but it's nice to be back.
Yes. Yes, Paul is always having issues. Let's get that straight. Literally, honestly, folks, some apologies on my part, in all honesty. Some family stuff have come up for me this month that I have to take care of. That's just part of the job right now as far as the family goes. So of course the Islanders playing on Wednesdays doesn't help either, and the work schedule got a little rough. So apologies ahead of time. And did you just cut me off? You cut me off.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You
Oh,
did.
I hit a button by accident. Sorry.
I bet you did.
I'm taking over. No, I'm
Yeah.
not.
So Paul
No, I'm not.
does have. Paul always has issues. That's true.
Yes.
But before we continue, Gary, how is
Yes, sir.
Vegas?
Good time. Brush can attest to that since he's on. We had a great time hanging out before the game with both the Drive for Five crew and the Booster Club crew. We were 50 strong. Um, Shannon put us on TV a few times. I'll tell
Oh,
you very honestly, I was not really impressed with T-Mobile. I really wasn't.
really?
No, it was okay. Let's put it that way. It was okay, but it
Okay.
wasn't the great arena everybody says it was. To me, they've taken their presentations and their little shows and pretty much dumbed them down.
Ah,
Very little bit of a fanfare coming in. You had the girls, but that's about it.
right.
The pregame stuff. It used to be, the knight fighting against the opponent. It was just the knight. Yeah,
Ah,
it really just disappointed me, and it was really a dark building.
really?
Um, yeah, I really just wasn't. I really, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 5.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, really wasn't. But
Wow.
the game was great. That was exciting. And then we went back to New York on Saturday to watch the Utah game. So that was even a lot more fun. It was my birthday on the day after the game in Vegas. So
Was.
we did some stuff. We went and saw the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. And if anybody ever gets to Vegas, that is a must.
The
It's a
Sphere?
lot of it's
Yeah.
it's money. It's money well spent. It was worth
Nice.
every second of it. So if you ever get a chance to go there, please do it. But the only thing that was bad about the trip was the traffic around because they were preparing for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which happened the next weekend, and a lot
Oh,
of roads were closed. It was a mess getting around. And when we were leaving, there was an accident on the one road that basically gets you into Las Vegas Airport. So our
okay.
driver had to like serpentine around for about an hour to make a two
Gotcha.
mile ride to the airport.
Oof.
And but yeah, Vegas was fun. I definitely it's it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but it's Vegas.
Did
Vegas.
you win in Vegas, though? Did you win in Vegas?
I lost on the slots, but blackjack is my game, and I played for about an hour, and I ended up
Okay. That that's
about $20 ahead.
nice.
I was down. I started with 300. I went down to about $30. No, $35, and I put my last 35 down. I put 30 on me, 5 for the dealer, and said, "Don't screw it up." And by the way, at New York, all the dealers are wearing Knights jerseys, so that didn't help either.
Ah,
But I won that hand and I got it all back. And like I said, I walked away with 315. So Lost a
Nice.
little on the slots, but that you always do. But it was fun. I don't
Did
gamble
you
much. I don't gamble to any level, but you got to do it. You might as well do a couple hundred and have some fun.
That's fine.
That's all it
Did
was.
you take Claire to Cracker Barrel with the extra winnings like you were supposed to?
I didn't. We did go, but it wasn't.
Oh,
Doesn't from that. We were the day of the game. We didn't know what to do. Breakfast wise. So
fair
we
enough.
said let's go. It was about. It was in Summerlin, which is just right outside town.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, we went.
Good.
Our friends, Mike and Diana,
Always.
they live in
Yep.
South Carolina now, and they have like stock in Cracker Barrel, so we
Yes.
had to go.
They have to come. So,
Yeah, we had to go.
all
But
right,
it was
folks,
it was good.
let's get on to the show here.
Yes, sir.
Before we do anything else, this always has to pop up. Do we at Isles Talk get info? Yes. Um, Sometimes it's big, sometimes they're no brainers. This one's a little bit in between tonight. No matter what happens, the information goes through Joe and myself. And sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's me and then it goes to Joe. Gary has no part of this, and we do this on purpose with the Islanders because Gary is part of the booster club. So if something, even if the news was bad, Gary doesn't know until this show.
That's right.
If it's positive, Gary still doesn't know until this show or until the show arrives. So we're
I know
making this
just as
disclaimer.
much. I know just as much or hear as much as anybody else here.
Correct.
So, I mean, Paul and I do talk, but when it comes down to stuff like this, he will not divulge anything. He will only talk about things that are basically public knowledge.
Or soon to be public knowledge.
Or soon, right? Exactly.
Yeah, soon to be public knowledge. So, what we're going to do tonight, folks, is that we are going to fill you in basically with what the Islanders had planned to do, have plans to do, and we're going to do that by crunching the numbers that we've been going through. And one of the reasons why we get info is because, yeah, I'm about 100 miles away. Joe's a little bit further than that. But if we are, quote, on the right track with what we present to you in terms of the information, the Islanders like to help us connect the dots for you guys so that way you guys have a better understanding, a bigger picture of what the Islanders are trying to do. But the only time we get information is if we are on the right track when it comes to the information that we are giving you guys. Um, it's not on the website. We don't charge anything like that. This is the free info. Again, tonight's info, some of it's going to be, you know, a little obvious, but then there's going to be some that you probably didn't think happened. So we're going to combine everything. And what we're going to do tonight, we're going to crunch the numbers for the first quarter. Almost 30% of the season is now complete. And this is Gary's time. Okay. This is Gary's favorite time of the year. I like to watch the first 10 games because I'm just weird like that. A lot of people like the Thanksgiving schedule. This is Gary's time. This is after game 20. We're approaching game 30. This is where we used to watch the standings more intently. And again, he's right. At this moment, game 27 is actually the right time to look at these standings. So, Gary, here we go. Third of the season. And again, folks, these numbers don't lie. We've been using these numbers now for a solid 10 years. And they always show something different, but it kind of shows the pulse of the team and what direction it may or may not go. So, you've got some magic numbers. We've been saying this now also for years, probably decades. That's how long we've been doing this. The offensive numbers, you're looking for a goal of roughly 240. That's what you want the Islanders to score at the end of the year. If they do that, the Islanders have an 84% chance of making the playoffs. On defense, the magic number is 230. If the Islanders' defense and goaltending can hold up below 230, you got a 93% chance. 217 is the absolute gem. That's a 100% chance of making the playoffs. Even with the crappy offense, the Islanders have never missed the playoffs when allowing 217 goals or less. Okay. Yes, they have missed the playoffs by scoring 240 or more goals. Hello, Doug Weiss season of a few years ago. That can happen. So, with that in mind, game 27, first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. The Islanders are currently on pace for 94 points. Where were they this time this year? High 70s, 77, 78, 79. Drastic improvement. So far, so good. Despite the injuries and everything else, the Islanders still look healthy through the first 27 games. The offense. If you play the law of averages, folks, the Islanders are on pace for an average of 234 goals, which actually isn't bad, but it could be better. They're on pace for 247. I love to play the percentages, and that's what that pace is. The numbers are a little different because I include the games played, the games missed, the injuries, and whatnot. So despite the injuries to Kyle Palmieri, Romanov did not score a goal. JG Pageau could be coming back. The Islanders, for now, have an 84% chance to make the playoffs with what's been going on. Here's the problem I'm having moving forward. Jonathan Drouin is on pace for 9 goals. Anthony Duclair is on pace for 12. Simon Holmstrom, we'll talk about him later. He's got 12. On pace for 12. Anders Lee is on pace for 15. And of course, Kyle Palmieri, his numbers are going to drop. He's technically on pace for 19, but that's going to drop down to 6 because he's out for the rest of the season. Shabanov, he's going to get a pass being a rookie. Gary, we've got some problems over in wing.
I'm sorry?
We've got some problems at wing.
Oh, we do. We definitely do. You know, it's amazing how 2 weeks can really make things stick out. And, you know, and we've always said every team goes through injuries, and it's how you react to it and how you deal with it. And right now, you know, I've always used that expression of holding, you know, treading water, if you will. And
Sure.
they are, you know, I mean, this hasn't been, you know, we were all thrilled about how unbelievable that road trip was. And, you know, the homestand's been stagnant, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, and again, you mentioned about the fact that I'm always looking just post Thanksgiving as to where we stand. But the one thing that sticks out, excuse me, the one thing that sticks out incredibly this year is the parity.
Yes.
I don't think in 30 years I've seen parity like this in the league.
No.
Where you literally can go from, as Tampa Bay did, they went from last in the conference to first in the conference in 2 or 3 weeks. We went from second in division, hanging around towards the bottom in a week. You know, your emotions are, and I'm sure most people that are on here can agree with me, are going up and down like a roller coaster. But when I look at, you know, using your numbers and seeing where we stand, we're not necessarily in a bad place, but in a month's time, a little over a month's time, we've got another 7-game road trip coming.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that, we kept saying, look at all the teams we're playing. Look at all the 600 and 700 winning percentage teams we were playing. And we were really, I was very concerned. I was hoping we'd get out of the trip 2-4-1 or something like that, let alone 6
Sure.
and
Sure.
1.
Right.
But it's going to be really, really critical to see what they do on that long trip. And
Right.
with parity this tight, having a 5-game, having a 5 or 6 win road trip again like they did in November can help them not necessarily escape the parity, but not only get themselves above water, but maybe waist high. And
Possibly.
you're going to need that for the stretch. So,
Right.
that's the one thing that's really appealing to me. We all said, you and I both said when the season started, we didn't think they were going to make the playoffs, and I'm not gonna really hedge on that at this point. But what did we say before the season started? Let's enjoy this, because I think
Yes.
it's going to be a fun season.
Oh, no doubt.
And anybody in here that says we're not having a fun season is off their rockers.
Right. Right. And I'm going to move into this segue here because Matthew brings up the good point. The fact that we're not giving up a lot of goals so far lately this season is encouraging, regardless of how the season ends up. Matthew, I'm going to help you with that. Remember, folks, at the beginning of the season, this team reminded me of the 08-09 squad.
Mm-hmm.
It was this guy behind me that when he got injured, things started to fall apart for that team. Okay. The Islanders' defense and goaltending, the goaltending specifically right now, folks, to Matthew's credit, even with the empty net goals so far this season, the Islanders are on pace to only give up 221 goals this season. 221, folks. That's 4 more than that guaranteed playoff spot defensively. Okay. All the numbers are there. But again, injuries to Romanov, we'll see if that really has an effect. Can Sorokin continue to keep this up? Is David Rittich the real deal as the backup? There's a lot of things that need to go right moving forward. But there's other things now moving on that I want to show everyone that's also helping out Sorokin and Rittich. But before we do that, I wanted to get your thoughts, Gary, on the goaltending. Are you happy with everything moving forward as the season progresses with the goaltenders?
I mean, right now, I think Sorokin has done. I think it's been a nice transformation. 2 or 3 weeks ago, his numbers were over 3. Save percentage was around 880. It's now 905. He's now got, I think, 255 or 251. Rittich
Right.
is 260, which is where you hope a person of a backup stature is, and he's done quite well. I'm very pleased. I mean, the only bad thing about Sorokin, the other night was when he gave up that goal when he muffed the pass. He's got to stay in his net sometimes, and he almost did it again last night.
Right.
I have no problem with Rittich with going back with the puck. He seems fully under control. And as his nickname is, Big Save Dave, and he's done quite an admirable job.
Right.
So I'm not really, they started out not so good, but I like the way they've been progressing. I think, nobody likes a change in coaching in the middle of a season, but I think this is working. And I know
Yes.
Patrick's been working with Sorokin too a little bit on the side.
Right.
He doesn't want to really get into it. He'd rather have his goaltender coaches do it. But being a Hall of Fame netminder like he is, he could stick his nose in a little bit, and
Sure.
that's fine. But yeah, I'm comfortable with the goaltending situation now. If you asked me this a month ago, I wouldn't be so sure, but I am now.
Beautiful. So one of the things that we were talking about during the offseason, folks, was getting a little more offense on the defense. A la Carolina Hurricanes. They usually rack up 3, 4 players who average around 30 points a season. The Islanders have that so far in Pullock, D'Angelo, and now Matthew Schaefer.
The guy that Paul
Pullock
didn't want to see here. Oh, yeah, that's right.
still there. I'm still there, but that's for another topic for another day. I'm still there.
You're wussing out.
No, I'm not. No. Different show. Different show. Don't even get me started on Cal Ritchie either. The defense when they get involved now, and this also has to do with Patrick Roy, segue from what Gary was saying. The defense when they're scoring points over the few years has not been great. For example, 3 seasons ago when the defense had no points during a game, they went 3-13, 1-9, and last year was an abysmal 4-11. When the Islanders, any defenseman scored 1 point a few seasons ago, 6-9-3, 8-8-4, a little bit more of an improvement. But then last year went 5-12-3. It wasn't until the Islanders started racking up 2 points or more from your defenseman where you actually had a chance to win these games. Gary,
Sir,
the Islanders this season, when the defense does not score any points, 3-3. You're not losing those games, Gary.
no, not this year.
It's an even ratio. It's not a 1-12 ratio here. It's not a 1-6 ratio. It's a level playing field, my friend. When the Islanders defensemen are scoring 1 point, they're 2-2-1. It's level. It's even. The win-loss ratio is right there, which is very encouraging. Should be very encouraging for Islander fans because now the defense on those plays are doing phenomenal. Everyone's getting involved. Here is the stinker, though. 2 points by a defenseman. They're 5-5. They usually had a better winning record with just 2 defensemen scoring. 3 points from a defenseman. 4-0-2. That has always remained the same. So whenever an Islanders defenseman, whether a defenseman racks up 2 points in one game and it's another defenseman scoring up the points, the Islanders are that win-loss ratio is like 7-1. The Islanders right now are 4-0-2. That's what you want to see. You would like to see a few more wins when a defenseman scores 2 points or more. But again, overall, Gary, that total team game mixed in with the goaltending, they're not really out of a game, which is what you've said. They've been entertaining at the very least.
Yeah. And I like the comment that Patrick said after the game last night. Of the 6 games so far on the homestand, that was probably the worst game they played. But somehow they got 2 points out of it. And
Right.
that's a good sign. It just shows that, even sometimes when they have bad games, they're still playing, what Patrick thinks is a good game. And I will honestly say, contrary to a lot of opinions on some of the boards, I really thought they played good games on this homestand. It just,
right.
It's the typical response, a great, and it's true. They played had some great goaltending against them. They've had some bad puck luck, and other teams, truthfully, and this was said by my wife, making a comment, and she doesn't. I'll say sometime because she's not listening tonight, so I can say this. There are times where she's on the phone and not watching the game, and I yell at her. So, but the other night, she's sitting there and she says to me, she goes, defense on the other team are just like standing on the blue line waiting for them to come in.
Bingo.
They're doing that the whole game. I'm going, yep, you got that right. And that's one way you can stop this team. I don't know how they're going to just stop that, but their kryptonite is when is when defenses just basically just stand on the blue line and say, "Come on, let them in."
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a learning process.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a learning process.
Because I think with most of these guys, the transition to an up-tempo game, you're gonna have those problems.
Right.
And it's a testament to a good team is how do you get out of that? How do you break that?
Right.
And
Oh, there I am. Hold on.
Where are you? Oh God, look at
I'm
that
over
thing.
here.
That's from 20 years ago.
About that. Tell me about it.
You gotta get rid of that picture, man.
I'm
Everybody's gonna
working
think
on
you're
it.
good. Everybody's gonna think you're young and good looking, which we know that's not the case.
No. Boy, this is not working tonight. Wow. There we go.
No.
No, still working here. Do. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna fix this. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, so you're gonna put me on dead air, huh? No.
No, I'm not putting you on dead air. Not yet. No, I am having computer problems tonight. However, let's get back into this here for a moment. When the Islanders are trailing after the second period, Gary, they're 2-9.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't hold a lead at the moment. When they are leading after 2 or after they're tied, they're 12-1-2.
Mm-hmm.
So everything seems to be working when they can hold the lead into the second.
Or be tied after 2, correct?
Or be tied. When they're tied,
Okay.
and this is another thing this is another good thing. 7-1-2 when they're
Mhm.
tied going into the third. So
Yeah, they've had some good, and I, even though Tampa got that crazy goal to make it 2-1 with what about 3 minutes left or whatever, I still like the way. Oh God, he's back. Um, uh, I still like the way. I mean, they didn't. It seemed to be shelled, but they really weren't. I think
right,
Tampa came out balls a blazing, and
right,
they withstood it. They held them up, and that's a good testament to, especially the forwards blocking all those shots
right.
from the point late. Heineman blocked a couple. Holmstrom blocked a couple. Everybody was putting good efforts out there. And despite, to me, the game being so, I don't know, disjointed, just back and forth, and a lot of basic team play wasn't really working. The team, when they needed it at the most, came through, and that's what I was appreciative about.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah, I know. Yeah, seems to happen. Yeah. Look, I will explain myself with Schaefer in a minute. Here's the big one, folks. And we just started doing this a couple of seasons ago. When the Islanders hold their opponents to 3 games or less,
3 goals.
meaning an average defense or better during those games. 2 seasons ago, the Islanders went 36-5-4. Basically a 6-1 ratio. Last season, the Islanders went 31-11. Basically a 3-1 ratio. This year, Gary, holding an opponent 3 goals or less, 12-1. I know Alan Furing has been using when the Islanders score, they're like 6-1, 7-2, something like that. But when the Islanders, and I'm going to repeat this again, folks, when the New York Islanders hold their opponents to 3 goals or less, they're 12-1. Here is the only issue that I have moving forward with this team. It is only game 27. During those seasons, the Islanders managed to do that 56% of the time. Right now, the Islanders are currently on pace for only 48% of the time. That's not going to get you anywhere. And what we've been discussing before is that we have wingers who have been putting the puck in the net as well. We don't have a great power play, and we're 6-6 at home. Those are not recipes to getting into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of that could happen.
With
No, it's not on Sorrow. It's not on Sorrow. Some of that's also the empty netters, Leo. Agreed, Mark. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I'm just saying because of the fact that you're losing a man of Palmieri's stature. And again,
Bingo.
a lot of people don't like him, but you got to respect the fact that he puts 21 minutes a game. He plays all three factors, 5-on-5, PK, and PP. He, he does everything, and you've got to replace that kind of a guy. A player that's could get you 30 goals a season, even though he wasn't on pace for it. But he's that type of a player, and you got to have guys like somebody said. Drouin's got to buckle up. Some of these guys have got to buckle up. But what I like is lately they are getting some secondary scoring.
Yes.
And when Horvat was goalless for a couple of games, they were getting contributions from the third line, and that's a big thing. But some guys are going to have to step up. I don't discount, for example, how Drouin's playing. I think he's playing well. He just hasn't had puck luck and gotten goals in. But he's the type of a player, very streaky, that should pick it up. And as Lee mentioned, on a 15-goal pace, he's a very streaky player. We all know that. Yep. He's down in the dumps, and all of a sudden, 10 games later, he's on 30-goal pace, and you're like, "What the hell happened?" Right. So you've gotta hope that past performances by guys start coming into play. And like I said, this is the litmus test, that 30-game mark.
Bingo.
Between Thanksgiving and New Year's. This is where you start seeing it. But unfortunately, the formulas that we normally use, unfortunately, are going out to bed because of the parity in the league. So we really can't do what we normally do.
Right.
But again, bottom line is guys got to step up.
And I'm going to add to that now. And again, going back to that disclaimer, do not blame Gary. Gary knows nothing at the moment.
No, I don't.
No, we were told, Joe and I, that the Islanders were in fact buyers long before the Romanov injury. Okay. Basically, when Matthew Schaefer was announced on this team, the Islanders ended up being buyers. They have been looking for a forward. They have also been looking for a defenseman. Without getting anybody in trouble, a little taller, and shall we say, playing with a little bit more of an edge. Not quoting here, don't want to get anybody in trouble. But you guys understand what I mean by a little taller with a little more of an edge. So the Islanders have indeed been shopping long before, weeks before, Romanov ever got injured. Now, here's the problem that the Islanders have, along with a lot of other teams, and this is going to be for you guys. Gary said it. The first and most obvious point here. No one is out of a playoff spot except for Calgary, Nashville. I don't want to include St. Louis. I think they have a shot. Is there someone else we can knock out?
I don't think so.
Was there a fourth team in there? I don't think so. Definitely Nashville. Definitely Calgary. Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah. Sorry.
Vancouver, there's just too much drama. Right. And that's it right here. Everybody is competitive. Nobody is just selling parts. And that is correct, Brian. Here is the worst part. We can tell you tonight that other teams, they want our farm. They want the prospects. They don't want the picks. They're not really looking for the players. Okay? They're looking for our farm system. They're looking to take away from the farm. They're coyotes, no pun intended. Sorry, Arizona. They're looking to steal some food from the Islanders. That's all they're looking for. So when you hear Elliot Friedman say, it's got to be the right fit or it's got to work out, aka trying not to trade the prospects away. Okay. That's why the Islanders are going with the homegrown. This is why the Islanders, and this is why we titled tonight's show, Playing with House Money. They're investing in themselves. The beginning of the season, we basically felt that the Islanders needed to find themselves. Now that we're here, now they have to really invest in themselves, and that may have to be bringing up Bridgeport from time to time. Now, that is another reason why Travis Mitchell was called up and not Marshall Warren. The offense from the defense is fine, but Travis Mitchell brings a little more height. He brings a little more grit, a little bit more of an edge to complement Scott Mayfield in the back, which is why he is now being called up. So
he hasn't been disappointing.
No, he has not.
No, playing a simple game, hitting, putting in physicality when he needs to, putting the finesse on when he needs to. So that's exactly what you expect from a number 6 defenseman at this point. And
I'm going to make this clear for everyone. I don't know if I did. The other teams, Mark, they're not looking for our picks. They don't want picks from us. They want the prospects that we already have. They want the farm. The picks are not included in that.
Now, remember a year ago, we were ranked 32nd in our pipeline.
Correct.
What a difference a year makes. That if that's the case, Paul, that teams are looking at our pipeline. I mean, we're not number one, but we've got a significant, decent group of guys coming up.
Yep.
And it's something we really haven't been able to say since the days of Trent Hunter.
Maybe.
That Trent Hunter group,
yeah.
the beginning,
Trent Hunter,
of the
Rafi Torres,
Rafi Torres, right? That second year Bridgeport team that went to the conference finals. That's how long it's been since our pipeline has been that good. And guys have, the record may not show it, but I really think that that some of the guys have stepped up big. I mean, some of the ones that we've been talking about for years, the Jeffrieses, the Maggios, those guys have really brought their game up to another level. Then bring the Nelsons, the Finleys, the Isermans, all those guys that are waiting to come up in the wings. Now, it's nice for this organization to say that. It's nice to say that that they're looking at our players coming up and considering them to be good potential NHLers. Right. And that's something we really haven't been able to say in such a long, long time.
Yeah, so am I. I'm kind of hoping for that moment. I am kind of hoping. I'm trying not to be the fanboy on that one, but I'll tell you what. And this is also a credit to Maggio as well. The guys down in Bridgeport, they're playing a better game. They're playing a better system this year. They look like everything's coming together. I really would love a line next year, if at all possible, of Jeffries, Ritchie, and Holmstrom. That would be a great line. All three can play penalty kill. They can also do power play, Ritchie and Jeffries. That would be a great utility line for me. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to give you guys an update, which I am allowed to do, on JG Pageau. I said at the beginning of the season that the possibility or the chances of him getting traded was 50%. That is still true, but as the season progresses, again, the parity in the league will determine whether or not JG Pageau gets traded. Um, the way things are leaning, I may up that up to 55% for now. Do I see the Islanders using their LTIR? I don't think so. I understand why they could use it, but let's be honest. I believe the Rangers are last in the conference. They have a
No,
12-12
Columbus is.
record.
Columbus is.
Columbus is now,
Yeah,
but they're
by 1 point.
they're
By 1 point.
okay, but they have a 500 NHL record, correct?
I think they're 1 game over.
Okay,
No,
either
2
way,
over. 14, 12, and 12 and 2.
okay, either way, no one in the Eastern Conference is trading with each other right now. And it's like we said, it's Vancouver, it's Nashville, and it's Calgary who are the bottom dwellers of the NHL. Nothing's going to happen just yet. And another thing that Islander fans are going to have to wait on, the Olympics. The Olympics is going to be key. Number one, is Bo Horvat going to make the Olympic team? That has to be taken into consideration. If something happens to Bo Horvat and the Islanders are close to a playoff shot, do you keep JG Pageau? Or do you sell off? We're going to find out what kind of an idea Matthew Darche really has. But again, after the Olympics, if the Islanders are, say, in 4th place, are they going to be buyers? Are they still going to trade JG Pageau no matter what place they're in? That's going to be determined. For right now, because of what has happened so far this season, I may lean more towards JG getting traded, but we'll see. But I can't drop the idea that JG Pageau is not going to get traded. I can't do that anymore. I think the likelihood of him getting traded is moving up as the season progresses. Well, Randy, part of me agrees with that. I think there may be some deals before the Olympics. I mean, Vancouver, I think, would make trades. We all know about their, president and GM. They like to make trades early, so that might happen. As far as Anders Lee goes, I said at the beginning of the season that was probably less likely. I am sticking to that for now. My personal gut feeling, and again, I'm approaching 50. This is like an Islander fan thing. Gary, you can agree with me or not. He's the captain of the New York Islanders. I think with everything, he'd have to take a significant pay cut to stay on this team next season. I think the Islanders would give him the choice whether he wants to finish up this season as an Islander or not. That's just my gut feeling. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay.
I agree. There's a loyalty factor involved. I think he's been a good captain for this team. He's not a yeller guy, not a rah-rah guy, but you could see the passion and the care about this organization every time he talks. I will honestly admit I saw that when he was in Bridgeport.
Right.
He's the type of guy he is. And those guys are very hard to find.
Right.
That's aside. Guys that play with their heart and care as much as they do. I'm not saying all hockey players don't. I know they do. But there's just something about Anders when you've had the chance to talk to him personally. And even when I was at the Can Jam before the season started and got to talk with Anders, and a lot on his summer, but a lot on other things, you can just hear in his voice with anything how much he cares and how much dedication he has. And That's a guy I just wouldn't want to see go away. And
Right.
will he take a cut? My gut feeling is yes.
Okay.
My gut feeling is yes, he would do it
Okay.
because you saw how Brock left, and that was hard. No matter what they tell you, that was very hard.
Sure.
By the
No
way, I'm
doubt.
sure Brock is having dinner with them tonight. No, I mean he probably
No, and I
is.
agree.
He
I
probably
agree.
is. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of respect for Anders Lee,
Sure.
so I would see
Yeah.
that happening.
And listen, guys, I completely understand where you're going. Trade Peugeot, trade Lee, no matter what happens. Um, believe me, there's a big. I completely agree with what you guys are going with. Um, I definitely don't want JG Peugeot just for a pick. You got to give me a
Something
pick and give me a prospect.
you're
Give me a
not going
kid.
to get. Whoever said you're going to get a first is not going to happen. You will not get a
Yeah,
first round pick for Pashel.
and that's the other problem. The teams are not giving up their first round picks.
No,
Maybe again, I think the Olympics may determine that as well. Um, it was a blessing we got Colorado's first round pick, but that might be. I think Randy said it best. I'm not sure. I think that's going to be the 32nd pick
32nd pick.
overall.
Yeah,
So we'll we'll take that. But you know, um, yeah, I no, I understand where you guys are going. I don't mind a pick and a prospect for Pajot. Give me some kind of a player who I don't even care if he fills in from time to time. Um, yeah, we're entering a league, folks, where it's now a win now situation every year. And draft picks, if it's not a first round pick, the value just goes down because there's just no guarantee on these kids making it in the NHL anymore. That's why they're doing expansion. But
and if you really want proof on that, go back into the archives and find the show we did with Shane Malloy. He will
yes,
explain all of that to you again.
yes,
And I would really say before you make some of these comments and that, listen to what he said.
yeah,
Because I'll tell you, he made a complete believer out of me with some things that I thought kind of like what you guys are thinking, was what I wanted to do. And I have a much different take on what happens with these things now that
right,
I listen to Shane. And by the way, I still owe him a beer when he comes.
right, yeah. So listen, guys, is it a good first 27 games? Yes, absolutely. Are you going to be able to make any trades right now? Are the Islanders going to be able to make any trades? Probably not. You guys were just given the reasons why. Big NHL parity. We talked about that. Ryan Payton and I talked about that in the last episode. Gary's been talking about it today. And again, a lot of the other NHL teams want our farm system. We're not doing that. So now it's time to play with house money. Play with what you have. Play with the kids. Bring them up if they're ready. I've said this before with Cal Ritchie. With JG Pageau going down, I have no problem with him coming up. That should have been his role from the beginning.
I like
But
his progression. You can see from 2 weeks ago to now, even just 2 weeks ago to now, you see the confidence this
agreed.
kid has. A
Agreed.
lot of confidence. And again, he had good numbers in junior, so we knew he had the ability. It was how much do you absorb quickly in the national, and he's done it. He's seen what Matthew's done in a different light, but he's seen what Matthew's done and basically saying, I could do this too.
Do we trade Zeke or one of the men? I don't know yet. Zeke is kind of hard to trade at the moment. He still has
Yeah.
1 year left on his deal. The others, in all honesty, if you're going to play with house money, you're going to need that depth. You're going to have to keep those guys. Look, I might need, I might get some heat from this, but I'm not going to lie, Gary. Siplikov's looking a little better these days.
Yeah, I mean, Y even said it
Slowly.
in the post game last night. He thought that was his best game. His
Yeah.
physicality was up. His physicality was up. He wasn't losing the puck.
Right.
Yeah, I think because he realizes this might be his last shot. You
Right.
know, with again, it's next up mentality. You know, Palmieri's down. Guys are going to have to make their roles a little better. So yeah, so it's time for him to step up, and I think he played much better.
Right. So yeah, again, look, 27 games, much better improvement from last year. We've gone over some of the numbers. You look good for now, but we've also shown you the crevices. We've shown you some of the cracks. The question is for now, how long can this team go on? I've said this before. If the Islanders are anywhere between 87 and 92 points by the trade deadline, that's a healthy season. If it's
All
not going
things
to get them,
considered, yes.
yes. All things considered, yes. If they're close to the playoffs and they decide to become buyers, I'm okay with that. If they go with your plan and they sell or trade Peugeot and Lee or whatever, I'm okay with that too. Anything close to 87 points for me this year, Gary, is going to be a good season. But for now, folks, I'm not expecting a trade unless a player wants to be traded and the
And
deal makes
judging by
sense,
that locker
obviously.
room, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No. All because an 18-year-old kid is energized that room.
Yep. Yep. And listen, I will give Matthew Schaefer the kudos when this season is over. For me, again, this season is not over. It's not over. But having said that, if the Islanders make the playoffs, and Islander fans, you better agree with this one. If things stay the same and the Islanders make the playoffs, Bo Horvat better be a Hart Trophy candidate. Matthew Schaefer better be a Norris Trophy candidate and a Calder Trophy winner. Matt Barzell wins Comeback Player of the Year, or at least nominated for it. Sorokin and Rittich get nominated. Is it the Masterson Trophy? The goalie combination one?
No, that's a Jennings.
The Jennings, excuse me. Thank you. They better be in the runnings for the Jennings. You know where I'm going with this. They all better be listed because that's what it's, and Patrick Waugh, Coach of the Year. That's what it's going to take for this team to get further and deeper into the playoffs. Thank you, Jennings.
The only thing that scares me with the Calder Trophy is that goaltender in Minnesota
Yep.
is unreal.
Yep.
He went 6-0 for the month with a 1.1 goals against.
Freak of nature.
Yeah, he's got an apropos name for a goaltender, Wallstead. He is a wall right now.
Yeah, Matthew, they're on pace to do it, bud. They're at like 2.7s right now.
What?
Hold on.
Our goalies?
Our
2.51
goalies.
and 2.6.
Yeah. 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 They're good for it, Matthew. They're going to be close. Let them be in the top 5. That still has to happen.
Well, right now, just based on goals against, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They're actually in middle. They're 15.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's with a slow start.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Colorado's only given up 56 goals in 26 games.
Okay, so we'll give it to Colorado, but you guys understand where I'm coming from here.
Yeah.
Okay? There's got to be recognition from the NHL to a bunch of these Islander players, if the Islanders, including Patrick Waugh, if the Islanders get into the playoffs. If not, they're going to consider what the Islanders did this season a fluke. Bottom line, no one had this team in the playoffs. Nobody.
No. Not even us.
If these players are not mentioned, at least mentioned at the end of the season, if the Islanders make the playoffs, they're considering this a fluke. Okay. Give me Matt Barzal, comeback player of the year. Kid's on pace for what? 55, 65 points? Imagine if he gets hot. Come on now. Yeah. Yeah. It's time for the recognition. So, Gary, I'll take care of the rest of the crew here. Any more final thoughts from you?
No, I'll stick around.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
good. I'll let you
And,
know.
the other water cooler talk comment I need to make here, Gary. Can we please, for the love of the hockey gods, they don't have to do it all at once. But when the opposing team has an empty net, can we, for the love of the hockey gods, put Scott Mayfield out there, Adam Pelech or Ryan Pulock, so that way they can skate down and just place the puck in the net? For the love of the hockey gods, can we please just get them a goal each? Like one goal. That's all I'm asking of each of them this season. Oh my God.
I never realized in all my years of watching this game that the hardest shot a player has to take is to an empty net. They can
I
score.
don't care.
They can score from the craziest angles. I mean, the kid from Tampa, the way he scored that one goal from the almost impossible angle, it was amazing. But
I mean,
you're
I'm
30
feeling
feet
for
from the
Adam
net
Pelech.
and nobody there, and you miss by a foot. Come on. I said to Claire last night, I said, you can go do that. And you've never shot a puck in your life. She could have put it in.
I'm feeling for Adam Pelech. He is literally trying to puck. The puck is on net and whatnot. It's just not there. But my God, throw it off someone's skate.
Could
I
you
mean, don't
imagine
bruise
what the
Anders Lee
single?
anymore, but throw it off his ankle or something.
Could you imagine the odds right now in Vegas if you put on Adam Pelech getting a goal? It's got to be plus 2,000. It's got to be plus 2,000.
Yeah,
Got to be. I have to
it's
look
gotta
it
be.
up and see. That's got to be near plus 2,000. It's what,
It's
115 games now without a goal? Something like that.
Really?
Something like that.
Why are you blaming me for this? No. I could have scored a defensive goal at this point. Come on now. When it's an empty net goal, get Pulock out there, let him cherry pick whatever. Mayfield, Pelech, they just got to get one goal each. That's all I care. Just let them get the monkey off their backs, please. Oh, yes, so close. That is a Ryan Pulock empty net goal right there, folks. No doubt. And yeah, and look, no offense, Pelech has been fantastic. We've been saying that. And look, Ryan Pulock, he's on pace for his 30, 35 points. He's normal. I would love to see abnormal. I would love to see higher normal. I want to see 40, 45. I know he can do it. He just hasn't been able to do it. Listen, I'm going to do this as well. Simon Holmstrom. Okay. I don't know why he's getting ripped on social media by Islander fans. Well, actually, I do know why. Okay. There should only be two people you should be following when it comes to prospects. Myself and Michael Anderson, who has been doing the prospects a little less than me, but he's just as informative. Okay. I haven't followed his work lately. I don't know his latest reactions on Holmstrom, but when it comes to fan-related prospects, he's the other guy you want to take a look at. Okay. When I told you guys that when we drafted Simon, okay, he was Josh Bailey. He was going to be this Islanders version of Josh Bailey. Josh Bailey did not rack up 50, 70, 50 until his 10th year as an Islander. He was basically 35, 45, whatnot for most of the beginnings of his career. He was a gamer in the playoffs. Simon Holmstrom is only playing in his 4th season, and he's averaging 45 points a season, 30, 35, 40 points a season. He's doing exactly what Josh Bailey was doing. What some people have been trying to do is elevate Simon Holmstrom to a top 6 role, which is premature. Josh Bailey did not become a top 6 forward well into later on in his
So
career.
about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
Simon Holmstrom is only in year 4, folks. And he's doing exactly what Josh Bailey is doing.
And 3rd
Penalty
full
kill.
season. 4th
Right.
year, 3rd full season.
Right. There's nothing wrong with Simon Holmstrom. When the Islanders get back into the playoffs, and that'll be a different conversation later in the season, okay? This kid will have another element to his game. And my hope is that he becomes that secret gamer in the playoffs when they do get back in there. Because everyone's going to be worried about Yzerman. Everyone's going to be worried about Heineman. Everyone's going to be worried about Horvat. Simon Holmstrom is going to be that kid to watch in the playoffs in another couple of years. Simon Holmstrom just needs, 4 points in 6 games? He needs another good streak? Guess what? He's back on pace for 40 points, folks. He's another streaky winger. When he gets it, he's going to get it.
And trust me, the players know what effort and what kind of a job he's doing because, despite, Duclair getting a game-winning goal, despite Sorokin having a fantastic night in the net, Simon got the mask last night from his teammates. So that tells you right there. Forget about what you're thinking about it. The players know what they think of Simon Holmstrom's effort and what he's doing outside of putting points on the board. He's fulfilling everything. He's been fantastic on the penalty kill. He's been good with that third line. They're gelling together very nicely. He's made a couple of unbelievable moves, in front of the net. So I am not anywhere disappointed with what he's done. I've been a big fan of his. And
I'm gonna add this real quick, Gary. For those of you saying that those other little experts who are saying that Holmstrom will never be a top 6 forward, stop it. Just stop, because you're also wrong. He's not. He's going to be both. He doesn't have to be both. He can be a top 6 forward for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. And then he'll come back down to his third line role, just like Bailey did. But he's Josh Bailey. He's not just going to be a third line player. He's not just going to be a second line player. He's not going to be maybe a first line player, depending on the year. He's going to be that type of Josh Bailey model. Stop putting him on lines. Look at the mold of that player, and you go from there.
It's his specific role that determines what line he's going to be on.
Right. And when Homer gets that confidence in his shot, it's over. That's my gripe on the water cooler talk with Holmstrom.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, comments, concerns, boys and girls? I think Thomas Boyle's trying to trade everybody. I don't know what he's trying to do.
What a surprise.
Skip him over.
What a surprise.
He is a third line, but he's got potential for more. But the guy is just, he, like Gary said, he's 3 full seasons in. And who are you going to replace? You're not going to put him ahead of Kyle Palmieri. You might be able to now, but good question here. D'Angelo is a candidate to be traded at the deadline, perhaps to a team desperate for an offensive D-man. Possibly, Mark. Possibly, but he's playing well at the moment. The system's doing well. Again, when it comes to trades, boys and girls, hold off on it. Um, Playing armchair GM is actually a bad idea for your health until probably after the Olympics. If you're an Islander fan, I wouldn't
Yeah,
even bother.
don't.
Yeah,
As we keep saying, just enjoy the team.
yeah. See how far they can go with what they have. No, and the reason why I'm not concerned with Quinn Finley or Danny Nelson is because the Islanders may actually have their respective colleges, Notre Dame and University of Wisconsin, having them work on specific skill sets that they need to work on before they become pros. So their defensive game may be more of a priority this year than their offense. So I think it's just trying to make them become a little more well-rounded. Plus, their teams are not that great, but I'm not worried about their numbers as of right now. Believe it or not, I just went over their numbers. I'm not too concerned just yet. Do I think both probably need a year or two in Bridgeport?
Yes.
Yes, but I think Rocky Thompson they'll be in good hands with Rocky Thompson at worst. Homer with Bo and Heine, 100%. Give it a shot. As long as Homer has his confidence in shooting, yes, go for it. Why not? I'm okay with that. Why are we trying to trade? I'm going to block Randy. I really am. Barzell to Vancouver. You guys have got to stop. Barzell's not getting traded. Stop it. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Gary, any final thoughts from you?
No, no, I'm just tired from going to a game every other night, so it'll be nice to get a couple of days off.
Right.
Claire says it too. It's just it's rough on us older people, but
Uh,
like I said, I'm totally comfortable with what goes on, whether they make moves or whatever. I like. It's been a lot more fun going to games
good.
than last year.
Good.
I like the up tempo game. They don't have to, rewrite the books, but it's a better style for this team because it
Right.
doesn't, to me, it doesn't expose as much when you have a slower team, and they really
Right.
don't have a slower team anymore with the additions of Richie and Schaefer and Heineman
Right.
and those kind of guys. You're not the same kind of team that it was last year, but this style of play is more suited.
Right.
I don't, I won't say any reasons why or why not a certain person who's no longer here but still advising wanted to play that way. But, right now, this team, again, is fun to watch. They may not, win as much at home as we'd like them to, but even still, I like the way I like their play.
Right.
And
Good.
it's going to be a great test tomorrow. I'm going to make sure I stand up and applaud when they do the salute to Brock Nelson.
Absolutely.
Again, he was just, to me, similar to Anders.
Yes.
He lived and breathed and cared for this organization.
No doubt.
So he's got nothing to be ashamed of. And I'll stand up and appreciate everything he did for this team. And I hope everybody
As
else
all
does.
of you should. Yeah.
I hope everybody else does the same.
What's happening with Isaiah George? Overhyped. And I'll leave it at that.
Hasn't he been hurt a little bit there too?
A little bit, but it's that's what happens when
Well,
you're
it's
playing.
second year blues.
Yeah.
Don't
Reality
write
is
him off
setting.
yet, but
Yeah, you've got the eraser ready, but not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Last year they were boring and just playing a bad. Okay, okay. Thank you to Brock and his contribution to the team. Absolutely. Oh no, without a doubt, the Islanders have absolutely been fun to watch. And when they have a lead or tied into going into the third, they're usually winning a good chunk. So
Yep.
again, game 27, can they hold on? And again, this goes back to this 08-09 season. Can Sorokin and Rittich hold on as a duo to keep the Islanders in games for the rest of the season? So that's going to be the key. Don't expect any trades yet, because now you know what other teams want. There's no need for the Islanders to put anyone on LTIR unless we're going after Steven Stamkos. Bad timing again. But you guys get what I'm going. You know where I'm going with this.
No, he won't come here. He can't wear 91.
No, that's true. Mark. Nice to know the team isn't automatically giving up a goal once they go on the PK. Big chance. No, absolutely. The PK's been great. The PK is actually in the top 10, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're top 10. Everything's clicking except for the power play. What are you guys doing? Gary, I've got every kind of trade idea now for Matt Barzal. Everyone wants Matt Barzal traded. What are you doing?
We are 10th on the PK.
We are 10th. Beautiful. No,
Again,
Brian, no one's going to go on LTIR.
What I look at is the magic number between the penalty kill percentage and the power play percentage. If you're over 100, means you're doing well. Right now, the Islanders are sitting at 96.
Beautiful.
Last year, they were at 80, 84.
Yep.
So that's a 12% improvement. That's better. Yes, the power play numbers are pathetic right now. They are not 32nd. They're 31st. Utah's worse. Got to be better than somebody. But again, 5 shorthanded goals, most in the NHL. So they're back to their 2021 ways.
Right.
So I'm applauding that. Bugner's done a nice job with these guys.
Yeah. So Leo kind of brings up a good point, but this is another can of worms. It's not just Pelech who's doing great. Can Pulock stay healthy? Can Drouin stay healthy? Can Anthony Duclair stay healthy? We need a lot of these players to stay healthy at this point. Some of these players we kind of write off at the beginning of the season. It's like, they're only good for 55, 60 games. They're healthy right now.
On Duclair, I think his last 3 games have been his best 3 games of the year. No question. I see a lot of energy. I see a lot of physicality. It's the kind of guy I remember seeing playing in insert team here. But so I think he's going to need to be a bigger factor going forward.
Yeah. Father Time is undefeated. Thanks, Anders, for your time. Let me reiterate here, or let me defend a crowd here who are trying to trade Matt Barzal. Some of them are here to piss me off. They like to fill in the chat room with crap like this just to piss me off, just to irritate and whatnot. That's why their comments are not coming on the show at the moment. I don't think it's just what they actually want to do. I think they're just here to annoy me sometimes, or most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
on that note, I'm going to bag off.
Absolutely, bro. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy that game tomorrow. Say hi to Brock for me.
Yes, I will. All right. Be good, brother.
All right, God. Take care. Oh, you guys are a bunch of idiots sometimes. You know that, right? God, trading Matt Barzal. All right, boys and girls. Any other last comments that you guys need to make? Yeah, Barzal just needs to shoot more, but he's on pace. He's doing pretty well. You know what? Shabanov I know, I cringe every time he takes a hit too. But but he's playing well. You know what? And I think Shabanov, for me, I really want to see how he plays next year. Give him an off season now that he really knows what he's getting himself into. Yeah, give him a good off season. He'll be ready next season, no doubt. And I do like the chemistry. I agree. Chemistry with Richie is doing very well so far. I like Richie's passing. So, all right, boys and girls, I think that's going to be it for me. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a lot of fun. Do me a favor as I hide this and I move this up. Please follow us on X at Isles Talk. Follow us on Facebook, and please like this video on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube channel. It helps us with our metrics. The numbers have been going up. You guys have been great. Again, I apologize for not being able to come on for a good chunk of November. Things have just been busy on my end, family wise. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. You're 27 games in. You put up some great numbers. You're not going to be out of the playoffs anytime soon. The nice thing right now is that game 27 and game 50, there may not be much of a difference. I think the Islanders are still going to be there. But if you don't see the Islanders make any moves, it's because you now know that other teams are looking for the farm system. They're looking for the prospects, which you guys definitely don't want the Islanders trading anytime soon. As far as the trade deadline goes, don't think about it. There's no point. Wait for the Olympics, wait for that to end, see where we are after that. Coming up next week, it's the holiday season, World Junior Championships coming up soon. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a prospect report for you guys next week. So if I can bring on a guest, I will. If not, we're going to go over all the numbers. So bring up your favorite prospect. I'll put up a post. You let me know what players you want me to bring in to discuss, and we'll go along with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your night. Let's go Islanders. Thank you, Brock Nelson, and we'll see you next week.